This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
You're not doing life wrong if it doesn't work for you. If the way that you're being told or the way that you believe that you need to start the new year makes you feel behind or makes you feel like you're not having enough time or exhausted or overwhelmed, it's probably not your way. You're listening to Make Some Noise podcast, episode number 709. Welcome to Make Some Noise podcast, your guide for strategies, tools, and insight to empower yourself. I'm your host, Andrea Owen, global speaker, entrepreneur, life coach since 2007, and author of 3 books that have been translated into 18 languages and are available in 22 countries. Each week, I'll bring you a guest or a lesson that will help you maximize unshakable confidence, master resilience, and make some noise in your life. You ready? Let's go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I am so glad that you are here. Well, as I am putting this out into the universe or the podosphere, I don't know, is that what they call it? I am thinking it is New Year's. It's New Year's, and it might not be New Year's for you because you might be listening to this later, but I wanted to talk about the new year. I don't shy away from the topic, but I do it a little bit differently than a lot of personal growth people on the internet these days. So I want to make a quick announcement though. January 11th, 2025, I'm going to be the guest speaker at Rhythmia Life Advancement Center in Costa Rica. So if you are interested in coming to a really beautiful resort for a personal growth week, a whole week, and also are interested in some plant medicine, they do ayahuasca ceremonies there. That link is in the show notes. I will be speaking 2 days there, and I'm bringing Dr. Fox. You get to meet Dr. Fox, my amazing, amazing partner, which, by the way, you guys, we went public on social media. What was that? It would have been last week before maybe. And it was fun. It was fun. He and I have been together for about 16 months now. His name is David. His name is actually David, not Dr. Fox. But that was fun. So if you want to sneak peek at Dr. Fox and you haven't seen him, check my Instagram. He will be with me at Rhythmia that week. And if you can't make it, of course, there will be plenty of pictures in my Instagram stories. And so let's kick it off, shall we? Okay. End of year, new year pressure can get really loud. We know this. There's different personalities, and some people like planners. I love the people who will get a planner, like the ones with the stickers in it, and they get like fancy markers and tabs, and they decorate it and use the shit out of it. Not me. I will go and get all of those things. I will source myself some markers, planners, all of it, and then do it for a little bit and just really want the creativity and not the actual planning. There are people who love New Year's resolutions. I am more of the I'll see you in March crowd. Is anyone with me? I just have been thinking a lot about New Year's kind of maybe energy, New Year attitudes, and maybe some old messages that I still believe around that's the time of year that we need to really change our life. And so I wanted to offer, as I do probably every year, permission instead of prescriptions. Personally, I like to close things out honestly, and you don't necessarily have to reinvent yourself. A few years ago, probably 4 years ago or so, I wrote an email to the people who get my emails, and it was really about New Year's, and more specifically that January isn't this sort of magical month. I wish it was. Change can start really anytime. My point is that there's no right or wrong way to do personal development. And I see a decent amount of perfectionism in personal growth. That's what I call it. Perfectionism in personal growth. People come into this sphere and they want to do it right. They want to get it right. And I don't blame you. You want to change your life. You want it to be better. You want to be able to tolerate other people who won't knock shit off. Because you can't change them. But the pressure of the perfect morning routine, the meditation, journaling, affirmations, and listen, I love me some meditation, journaling, and affirmations, the 10,000 steps, the green smoothies. That's where I get agitated because it puts pressure on people and then they think they need this checklist in order to have these fulfilled lives. And that's not the case. And of course, if a habit makes you feel better, great, keep doing it. But if it stresses you out, if it makes you feel like you're pressured, if it makes you feel like you're a moral failure, then it doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for you. You're not doing life wrong if it doesn't work for you. If the way that you're being told or the way that you believe that you need to start the new year makes you feel behind or makes you feel like you don't have enough time or exhausted or overwhelmed, it's probably not your way. All right. Permission is what you need. And permission alone isn't the whole point. It's like the doorway. So let's start there. You reflecting on your year, on what's behind you, the last 12 months that are behind you, it doesn't require any real clarity to start. All it requires is reflection. That's it. About inventory, not fixing, nothing like that. It's about reflection. It's about inventory. So end of year inventory. And P.S., if you're listening to this in the new year, keep listening. This does not have to be done at the end of December or the beginning of January. So I'm going to give you some prompts and I invite you to either pause and reflect on them, maybe hit the pause button if you're on a walk or if you're driving to think about them for a moment or so, or write them down, or you can just listen. You can learn through osmosis too. So I like to just divide it into two categories. These are going to be wins and losses. Okay? Trust the process. Wins. Ask yourself questions like, where did you show up? Where did I show up this year? Not necessarily, where did I win? Where did I kill it? Where did I meet my goals? No, where did you show up? Where did you try? That's it. Where did you show up? Another question. This is a question that a lot of coaches ask. My very first coach, Gina Gabellini, every time we would get on the phone together for our sessions, this was before we were using Skype and then Zoom, she would ask me, what's working? What worked the last couple of weeks? And I would kind of get irritated because I had a list of things to tell her that weren't working, that I wanted to fix. But I think when you enter with that, it starts to train your brain to look at things that are actually working instead of things that aren't working. So that's the inventory. What worked? Even if it was imperfectly, even if it was messier than you originally thought it was. In the wins category, ask yourself, what are you proud of? Small stuff. Start with the small stuff. What are the small things that you're proud of? Is it where you showed up? That first question, where you showed up. Maybe that is what you're proud of. Done. Okay, we need to take one quick ad break in this episode. And when we get back, I'll talk to you about the losses. Wah, wah. Be right back. This show is sponsored by MIDI Health. Let's be real. Midlife healthcare for women, historically trash. If you've been told like I have, it's just aging or you'll be fine when you're not sleeping, you're sweating through your sheets or feeling like a stranger in your own body, you are very much not alone. Even today, 75% of women seeking menopause or perimenopause care are left untreated. That's not okay. But there's good news. It's time for MIDI. MIDI is a women's telehealth clinic founded by experts in midlife health. And they actually listen. You get one-on-one, face-to-face care tailored to your unique needs. And they're the only women's telehealth brand covered by major insurance, making expert care accessible and affordable. From hormone therapy to weight loss support and lifestyle coaching, MIDI has your back. Ready to feel your best and write your second act script? Visit joinmidi.com today to book your personalized, insurance-covered virtual visit. That's joinmidi.com. MIDI, the care women deserve.
Hello, I'm Diane Morgan. If you know who I am, you know who I am. If you don't, who cares? I'm here to explain Italian Time, a holiday phenomenon where Italians throw away their clocks and gather for eternity with San Pellegrino. I've been at this party so long that I've eaten 5 courses, hugged someone's grandma twice, and been offered a job in the family restaurant. So this holiday season, make sure to bring enough San Pellegrino to last you through the meal, the after meal, and the entire goodbye ritual. San Pellegrino, holiday on Italian time.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
All right, we're back. Get out your pen. Get out your finger for the pause button because we're getting into the losses. First question, what didn't go the way you hoped? What didn't go the way that you hoped? And maybe it was something that carried over from previous years. Maybe it was something new that you were trying this year. What didn't go the way you hoped? What ended? Did anything end? What ended? What do you think about it? How did it change you? What hurt or disappointed you? That one, I really like that one. I wanted to give you something that asked you to reflect on your emotions specifically. I mean, all the other questions can too, but I specifically would be curious, what hurt or disappointed you? Because when you think about those, or who hurt or disappointed you, when you think about those, it can sort of force you or ask you to process your emotions. And I'm always going to encourage you to do that. I think that's where your power lies. I think that's where your evolution lies. I think that's where the next version of you lies. More on that later as my work continues to evolve. But many times we avoid the processing of the feelings because it's fucking uncomfortable, because nobody likes to do it. Boo. I don't want to. Ugh, it's exhausting. It's terrifying. It's all these things. And so we tend to avoid it. I'm going to encourage you not to avoid it. What or who hurt or disappointed you? I also want to say that loss doesn't equal failure. Loss just means that there's equilibrium, that there's balance. That's what the universe loves. The universe loves balance, making things harmonious. And so we have to have losses with the wins. It does not equal failure. It just equals life, because some, if not many, losses are necessary. And some are just painful, and some are both. Some are necessary and painful. So something to think about in terms of lessons, because that's what we like, right? We like the reflection and we like the lessons that we learned from it. So what did 2025 teach you about? You ready? What did 2025 teach you about your needs? What did 2025 teach you about your needs? That they needed to be vocalized, that they matter, that you had a lot of them that you didn't even realize, that other people might have feelings about them. What did this year teach you about your needs? Or what did it teach you about your limits? What did this year teach you about your limits? What did this year teach you about your patterns? Ooh. Do you have any patterns that you keep repeating that you're seeing more clearly now as you look back on 2025 that you might need to change? Or that you might celebrate? Have you been working on your negative self-talk and you're noticing a pattern that it's consistently better? That's something to celebrate. It doesn't necessarily have to be difficult things that this year taught you. There might be some good things. Carrying. What are you carrying? I feel like at the end of the year, sometimes it can be helpful to reflect on what we've carried all year or longer that we're ready to put down. What can stay in this year? What do you not want to have roll over into 2026? What can stay the hell in this year? What do you want to put down and not carry anymore? What do you want to put down and not carry anymore. By the way, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the episode, I'm facilitating rather, Write Your Way Through It. And we start on January 21st, 2026. It's in the evening, 7 p.m., 6 weeks. We meet on Zoom. It's a journaling program. I've taught it several times before. If you go to AndreaOwen.com/program, you can read more about it, what is expected of you. You can read what other peoples have had to say, other people have had to say about it who've taken it in the past, AndreaOwen.com/program. But we do a lot of journaling like this. We go around the room and people tell me a little bit about what's going on in their life, whether it's like acute right now or, built up over time. I ask them questions. I give them options of journaling prompts and they can run with it. They can choose what they want and then they can come back and report the next week or in the Facebook group. And it's kind of amazing. It really is kind of amazing. So just a gentle reminder, you don't need to life hack. You don't need to optimize. You just need honesty for this inventory, for a 2025 inventory. And I want to talk just a little bit, just a couple minutes about 2026, about looking ahead. And I'm going to give you an invitation. And this is something that has gone around the personal growth circles and for many, many years now. And it's the whole sort of notion around, instead of looking at what you want to do, what your goals are in terms of action, instead of looking at what you want to do, you look at how you want to feel. How do you want to feel? If you could shift away from goals and look at an internal experience versus accomplishments. If you could focus on presence versus productivity. That alone, presence versus productivity, is incredibly scary. There's a woman that I'm dying to have on my podcast, and her name is Maureen Murdoch, and she wrote a book called The Heroine's Journey. And I'm looking around for it. I know it's on my very messy desk right now. Here it is. This book, you guys, can you hear it? She talks about what it's like for women and just sort of the journey of our lives. And of course, they're sweeping generalizations, but she talks about how we, as women, people who are socialized as women, grow up just like men and hear that we will be more valued the more we accomplish, the more productive we are, the more we do for other people, the more things we can check off in our efficiency. And I think that to be present in moments can be such a jarring experience to even try out, because some people have never even tried to focus on it, don't know what it is, don't know what it feels like. And then also it can be a little bit scary because when you are present, you are fully immersed in the moment. And also not just present, but you're emotionally present. And that can be so scary, to really lean into the sheer joy of an experience, to really lean into the wonderment, the awe, the love. That can be scary. And I know if some of you might be listening to this and thinking like, why on earth would that be scary? Those are amazing feelings and experiences. Our brains tend to know and understand that can be taken away from us at any second. It very much knows the experience of that pain. So many times we try to avoid any feelings, even the good ones, because we're terrified of it disappearing. Therefore, this exercise asks you to just think about, I would say, if you could narrow it down to one, that's amazing. And I would look at that more of like, what is your word of the year type of thing. But if you want to even look at 3 to 5 feeling words for 2026. And I mean, I'm talking about things like compassion, joy, presence. Maybe it's permission, something like that. It's maybe not a feeling word, but something like that. Or perhaps, did I already say courage? Okay, courage is definitely one of them. If you want to feel brave, you want to feel joy. Gratitude. Gratitude's a fairly easy one. Maybe you want to feel balanced. I don't know. It could be anything. And if you could look at this as a sort of compass or North Star for your year, not necessarily a goal or something that you're indebted to, nothing like that. Just a compass, a North Star. And I invite you also to get clear on what that actually looks like. Okay, like tell me, are there any behaviors that might encourage you to lean into that particular word or feeling or whatever it is? Are there any particular people that you would like to be around more often to be able to exemplify whatever that feeling is, whatever that word is? If you lived 2026 feeling blank, so fill in the blank with whatever word you have. If you lived 2026 feeling whatever, let's say just feeling joy, what would change? What would have to change in order for you to do that? And then what would change at the end of 2026? What would that bring you? At the end of 2026, if you mostly leaned into that word or words that you chose, how would you feel differently? What version of you would you become? So those are just some easy questions for you to think about. Okay. And just a reminder again, you do not have to have January clarity. You do not need the perfect morning routine in 2026. You're not behind. You can reset at any time. You can reset at any time. All right. All right. Write your way through it. AndreaOwen.com/program. You can also join me in Costa Rica if you want to jump on a last minute plane ride to Costa Rica. I'll be there January 11th through the 18th. That link, both those links will be in the show notes. And remember, it's our life's journey to make ourselves better humans and our life's responsibility to make the world a better place. Bye for now. Hey, did you know there's free secret podcast episodes waiting for you that are not part of my regular podcast feed? Yes, AndreaOwen.com/free. And you just sign up. You get a link sent to you. It's very secret. It's like a secret club. We don't have a secret handshake. Don't worry about that. But it's these motivating podcast episodes that I made for you. They're under 20 minutes each. There's 3 of them. They're for wherever you are in your life. So head on over there and grab them. They range from really supporting you and seeing you where you are and being compassionate, all the way to giving you a giant kick in your ass and telling you how amazing and gorgeous and phenomenal you are. So AndreaOwen.com/free and get your hands on that free podcast feed.
A warm dinner, a full table, peace of mind for every family. That's the holiday we all wish for. The Feeding America Network helps make it possible, not just for one family, but for communities everywhere. Because when we act together, hope grows. Give now and your impact may be doubled. Visit feedingamerica.org/holiday.